This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm your host, Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, there's a lot to talk about. We have a major Deebo Samuel update. Will he get cut? Will he get traded? Will he be on this Niners team in 2025? A Niners offensive lineman announcing his retirement on this Thursday, February 20th of 2025. And are the 49ers for sale? What does Jed York have planned for this organization? Let's begin with Deebo Samuel here. What will happen with Deebo this upcoming season? And did we see Deebo play his final game in a Niners uniform back during the 2024 season? As we know, during that end of the season meeting with head coach Kyle Shanahan, he requested a trade, but his contract really makes a trade or him getting cut very sticky. And so it's a very interesting situation, and I'm not sure which avenue the Niners are going to go because of the financial implications. Let's break those financials down here for you. If Deebo is traded, the Niners have to take on $31.5 million in dead money. It goes up to $47 million if he is traded after the March 22nd option bonus that he is due. Now, if the Niners designate him as a post-June 1 cut, they would have to absorb a $10.75 million cap hit, and then the remaining $20.8 million dead cap charge would hit the 2026 cap, and the Niners would be able to spread that out a little bit. Given Deebo's decline and his bad season in 2024, the worst of his career, out of shape, slow, lacked physicality, lacked juice, lacked speed, didn't break tackles like he's been accustomed to breaking tackles in the past. He's been deemed as the Yak King. The Yak numbers weren't there. The touchdown numbers were not there either. He had his lowest yards per carry of his career outside of that injury-riddled sophomore campaign when he barely played in 2020. The Niners can't really get that much back in a trade, in my opinion. And so San Francisco is in a bad situation regardless. And because of the financials here, I think San Francisco is in a lose-lose situation. But free agency does begin March 14th. That's when the new league year kicks in, and the Niners have to make a decision before that. And so they have to make a decision soon. Now, at the NFL Combine, we will speak with John Lynch next week in Indianapolis. And how about this? This is why you watch the show. This is why you subscribe. Because earlier this week, I put up a video here on the channel, and I put it out on my social media pages explaining why Kyle Shanahan should attend the NFL Combine in Indianapolis this year. The Niners went 6-11. It was a very disappointing season. The Niners entered 2024 as Super Bowl favorites. The Niners are bereft of talent and depth on their roster. They need to add players in the draft who can be impactful players here in 2025. And they need to hit on their draft picks. They've also missed on a lot of selections in the first round in this Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch regime. They can't afford for that to happen this year. And according to reports, Kyle Shanahan is not normally in Indianapolis for the scouting combine, is expected to be there next week, and if he is, he'll be doing a press conference most likely. We will catch up with him, we will talk with him, and we'll be able to ask him, we'll be able to ask John Lynch about a plethora of issues with this football team, the current existing roster, players like Deebo, draft, picks, free agency, that and a whole lot more. There's also this from Jeremy Fowler on the Deebo Samuel front, and he relayed this on ESPN. What happens if the 49ers can't trade Deebo Samuel? Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to find out because from a cap standpoint, they really can't trade him because of the way they've restructured Samuel's deal over the years. The 49ers would take on $31.5 million in dead money cap charges for 2025 if they traded him. That number would go up to about $47 million if they traded him after that option bonus came due on March 22nd. This will obviously play itself out before then, releasing Deebo before March 22nd, and designating him as a post-June 1 cut is the only reasonable way for the 49ers to go here. It would result in a dead cap hit charge of roughly $10.75 million this year, and the remaining $20.8 million would be dead money that hits the cap in 2026. So Fowler said that a little bit earlier this week. But get this. He just reported on ESPN on Thursday, right as of this recording, right before we were set to go live, that multiple teams have reached out to the Niners. Trade dialogues are happening between other teams, multiple of them, the San Francisco 49ers, Deebo Samuel, and his agent. So could the Niners find some way to not have that dead money cap charge hit them? Could another team absorb some of that? And could the Niners get some value back for Deebo? Going to be a very interesting storyline for this Niners team and across the NFL for the weeks to come. So what say you? This is today's poll question. What should the Niners do with Deebo? Type T for trade, type K for keep, or C for cut. I want you to share your thoughts and opinions with me down in the comment section right now. I've also talked about this on the show. I think that Davante Adams would be a really good fit for the Niners. And don't tell me he's washed, because he's not. Just in his stint with the New York Jets when he played 11 games, he was on a 1,300-yard pace. And he's a much better natural wide receiver as compared to Deebo. Deebo has been a one-of-one weapon, very versatile chess piece, a Swiss Army knife to a certain degree. But I think the Niners need to get better at the wide receiver spot. And even though Davante Adams is starting to close in on the back half of his career, great size, still good speed. He's had some drop issues, but normally good hands, really good route runner, and despite bad quarterback play over the last couple of years, he's put up some really good numbers. So the option I've discussed, move on from Deebo, sign Davante Adams, and I think you become a better offense. If you do that, I also think it'll help to not be so Deebo Samuel reliant. And would you like this wide receiver group? Hopefully Brandon Ayuk can come back at some point soon, because that knee injury was pretty scary, but we really don't know when he's going to be able to come back. We can ask about that at the Combine next week. But if you have him, Davante Adams, Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, and Jacob Cowing, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, a pretty top tier wide receiver group with the top 5 on your roster. When news happens, I always bring it to you here and cover it here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. That's why you hit that subscribe button, and that's why we're closing in on 160,000 subscribers. Back to Deebo. George Kittle did say this, and George Kittle knows ball, and obviously he's very close with Deebo. They've been teammates for a very long time, since Deebo came into the league in 2019, and George Kittle was drafted in 2017, so they've played with one another for a long time. And at the peak of his powers, yeah, I think George Kittle is right here. But I think Deebo's declining. And the fact that he was 20 pounds overweight last year, that's flat out unacceptable. But Kittle said this, and I want you to react to it here down in the comments. I don't think that you can really replace Deebo. We're just going to have to build our offense a little bit differently, because we don't have that available to us. But Deebo's a hell of a football player. I've loved being his teammate. I've loved sharing the field with him. I've loved going to war with him. If that is what happens and he gets traded, I'll be very sad. But at the same time, I'm always happy for guys to get opportunities, and that's all you can ask for in the NFL. He continued by saying he's a very unique one-of-one weapon. He has been. But I'm kind of over the antics. I'm over not taking accountability for bad play. I'm over the bad body language. And I'm over the bad production while being out of shape and being disappointing since signing that contract extension after the 2021 All-Pro season going into 2022, because there's been injuries, there's been a lack of production. Still to come here on the show, Niners offensive lineman retiring, and are the 49ers for sale? We'll talk about that here in just a few moments, but I want to tell you about this great deal. Thanks to our friends at Fanatics. A lot of you have seen me wear this polo on my watch parties, and a lot of you have asked me, Chase, where'd you get that? It's fresh. Well, you can get it right now. It was $80. It's now on sale for just $43. Limited time only. All sizes available too. All you have to do, plug in that link down below, chatsports.com/49polo, and it's all thanks to our friends at Fanatics. John Feliciano deciding to hang him up and retire on this Thursday, February 20th. And after he missed all of the 2024 season due to a knee injury, the versatile offensive lineman is going to move on to the next chapter of his life. He sent out a long social media statement. Here's a snippet from it. After months of weighing my options, I realized I had to leave the game. The fire is still there, but I know I can't last a full season and can't bring myself to let people down. Being on a team and unable to help out our boys is rough. That being said, Buffalo or San Francisco. I'll be ready for a playoff run in December if you need me. So pretty much Feliciano is saying, I'm going to retire. I can't last a full season because of that knee injury. But if you need me for a few games in the playoffs, hit up my phone. In 2023, Feliciano is a really good story en route to the Niners, winning the NFC West, winning the NFC, and nearly winning the Super Bowl. He played 36 snaps the first 8 games. But then after that, he started every game the rest of the way, including every playoff game except for one. And he served as a very versatile player along that offensive line. Played center, left guard, and at that right guard spot, he was one of the highest graded guards according to Pro Football Focus. In that retirement statement, he called the 2023 Niners the most loaded team that he's ever been on. And they, in fact, were loaded. Star-level talent all across the board, and they should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see a lot of offensive line turnover, by the way, this upcoming season in 2025 potentially, because Feliciano is done. Aaron Banks is a free agent. It's going to be way too expensive for him being an average player. Ben Barch is a player for cheap who I'd like to see the Niners bring back, but he's going to be a free agent. And then Jalen Moore, who filled in nicely at left tackle for Trent Williams, I think he's going to get paid a decent contract. I think he's going to leave in free agency as well. Last story for this segment here. A portion of the Niners up for sale. As we know, that is the Niners owner right now, Jed York, the majority owner of this organization. And according to the Sports Business Journal, the 49ers are considering selling a 10% stake in the franchise. The Niners are valued at over $9 billion. And so if they sold a 10% stake, the sale would garner more than $900 million and nearly $1 billion. It wouldn't change who's running the ship, but this is an opportunity to add more revenue for the organization. And the DeBartolo family bought the Niners, get this, this is how business is booming in the NFL, for $13 million in 1977. And several decades later, the Niners are valued at that price tag. What an investment. And now they're about to sell 10% for nearly $1 billion? That's crazy, man. The NFL, crazy powerful. This is not uncommon, by the way, for NFL franchises. The Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl by throttling the Kansas City Chiefs. Their owner, Jeffrey Lurie, one of the top owners in American sports, also got approval to sell 8% of the stake of the Philadelphia Eagles. So no need to panic. I don't think you have to worry about ownership being in different hands. It's just an opportunity to get more revenue for your team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Sr. As always, thank you so much for watching the show.